I've gone ahead and applied some fastener assembly lube from the ARP pack to the back of the head washers and the barrel nuts too. Just going to get the oil return tubes and give them a bit of assembly lube on both ends. Good wobble around. So the cam housing with its Loctite 574 on it. Just going to offer it up to the heads, get it lined up. Beautiful. Now we're just going to position these oil return tubes. There you go. Just want to feel those oil return tubes seat. Alright, that's all torqued down. Now I can torque the heads down. I've got my 10mm Allen socket on the end of a wobble extension to reach some of these because the cam housing gets in the way. So we're going to go through the torque procedure on this. Timing chain housing. It's got the gasket already installed. Left side first. This one has the lobes spread far apart. Turns nice and freely, that's great. Socket. The thing here is not to pinch this O-ring. Get it in there nice and evenly. Okay, let's go 7, 5, 6, 7, 7.4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, next it's a thrust washer with the beveled edge facing in, so that'll go on first. Then this side, both sides had 3 shims. There's the woodruff keys next. Oh, boom. And there it is. Perfect. I'm going to install the chain sprocket with the dish side facing out, not the flat side, on this left side of the engine. We'll put the idler pulley in too. So I'm going to prime my chain tensioners. I've got it set up on the floor because it's going to get really, really messy. I've got some motor oil in a plastic container. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to submerge the chain tensioner in the oil and then pump the piston against the floor, keeping the inlet submerged, and the little bleed hole obviously is up here. And pump it until the air comes out and the oil goes in, and I feel some resistance build up. I think this is going to be incredibly messy, and I've got some paper towels at the ready. All right. You can see the bubbles coming out. The inlet, when those bubbles stop, I know I'm good to go. Okay. gonna let it sit in there for a minute and let the bubbles just come out. So I'm ready to install the chain tensioner. And I want to keep tension on this chain. I don't want to let it go slack or it might ruin my timing. So I'm going to hold it in place while I remove the clamp. I've got the little spacer which is going to go on first. Remove the clamp. Install that tensioner. Okay. Okay, there we go. So after setting my cam timing and installing the chain tensioners, I realized that my old idler arms didn't come with the bronze bushings on the center here. So that's a well worth upgrade. So I have called Henry at Supertech and I upgraded to a set of his idler arms with the bronze bushings. I'll go ahead and reinstall my sprocket on there and we'll put that in. And of course the little catchment cup is facing upwards to catch the oil. So unfortunately I'm going to have to check my timing again, my cam timing, to make sure it's set correctly, and if not I'll adjust it. But I think it's well worth upgrading to these bronze bushings on the idler arms. So the next thing to install is the distributor. I sent mine away to Parts Classic and they checked it out and it all worked out fine. So it has new points, a rotor and a cap. I've added a new O-ring also and I've lubed up the gear. My rotor is pointing towards the little mark on the case of the distributor for top dead center. So the engine is right now is at top dead center on cylinder number 1. So I can go ahead and keep the rotor in that orientation and just slide it into position. Push it down. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of the rocker arms in the cam housing. There you go. And of course you've got to weight them so that we weight them to the thin side so they're flush with the thin side of the wall of the rocker housing here, the cam housing where the rocker sits. So I'll weight it to that side. And I'm going to torque them down to 18 foot-pounds. I know it's supposed to be 13 foot-pounds, but I just want a bit of extra security and I think I'm going to torque them a little higher. That's 18. Okay, do that to the rest of them. So with the engine turned 120 degrees from top dead center of cylinder number 1, I can go ahead and hit the next cylinder, which is in the firing order, which is cylinder number 6, and do the valve adjustment here. Lock it down. I can feel a good bit of drag on there. Okay, that's the valve adjustment done for cylinder number 6. And I'll rotate the engine 120 degrees and do cylinder number 2. So with the rockers installed and the valves all adjusted, I can go ahead and install the spark plugs. I went with these Bosch Silver W4CSs. These were recommended to me for my application. I've got the end to 0.03 of an inch, and I'll adjust from there if needs be. And then I'll install them and torque them down to 18.4 foot-pounds. So I've gone ahead and installed gaskets for my valve covers, top and bottom. My old lower valve cover just has seen better days. It looks a little flimsy. I'm a little bit concerned about oil leaks, so I thought a worthwhile upgrade was going to the turbo valve covers. These are brand new parts, so should do the trick, and they are a much more solid fit. I'm going to install my little crush washer, aluminum crush washer, and these little 13mm nylon nuts, and they all get torqued down to 5.9 foot-pounds. So my upper valve covers I really actually quite like. I like the patina. I like the look of them. I was going to paint them, but I don't think I need to. I'm just going to make sure the surface is flat, sand the bottom of that surface, because these are the originals, so they need a little bit of TLC, I suppose. They feel a little bit warped, so make sure they're nice and flat. And maybe I'll try sanding the Porsche lettering, so that is just a bit more shiny than the rest of it, and that'll do. So I'll go ahead and do that outside. A couple of sheets of 150 grit sandpaper taped together to give me the length of the piece. Sprayed it down with my penetrating fluid, and I've just been going back and forth in circles, even pressure. And it's made a pretty good job of the back of these old things. I don't think I can do too much better than that. So, okay, I've done both sides of those. Let's do something about the lettering, the Porsche lettering, see if I can get that to stand out. I'm going to use some 220 with the same penetrating fluid on it. I'm just going to lightly sand, do it from this side, that Porsche lettering. Alright. Oh, that looks great. I love it. Alright, let's clean these up and get them back on the engine. All dry from the parts washer. Put them back on. They're looking really good. I love that Porsche sanded out lettering. Looks great. Again, I'm going to do these up to 5.9 foot-pounds. So next up is the oil cooler. This is my original oil cooler. I took it to my local radiator shop and they pressure tested it and it was fine. So they hot tank dipped it also. Had to do it a few times. There was a load of crud inside, but he got it all out. Apart from a few bent fins, it's in great shape. So we'll go ahead and install it. Going to install the engine oil line adapter. It has a new crush washer. And this needs to get torqued to 88.5 foot-pounds, which scares the crap out of me. So I've turned the engine upside down so I can get better leverage on the bolt. I'm creeping my way up to 88.5 foot-pounds, but it just makes me so nervous. There you go. And it moved just slightly and it gave me a reading of 91 foot-pounds, so I'm not going past there. That thing is on. So with all of that done, we've got ourselves a completed long block.